Why are we here? What's the purpose? What's this town called about? I know you just to show what we've been doing all summer. Okay. Anything else? What have we been doing all summer? Yes, sir.
We're here to showcase how young people can be different.
We're here to show and tell people how young people can be different. Absolutely. What else? Anybody watch the news last night or this morning? Did anybody hear about somebody dying in the city of Milwaukee, or a couple of people dying in the city of Milwaukee? Yes, ma'am. Yep, a 9-year-old died. And a 22-year-old. Somebody at Washington Park, and somebody on 76 and Mill Road. And we're talking about, all summer long, we're talking about what? Peace, mediation, conflict resolution. What else are we talking about? Besides our academic classes. Violence prevention, and how you can be a difference, how you can make a difference. We might not be able to do everything, but we sure can do something. I promise you. So that's what we're here to talk about. We're talking about being the difference, right? Making a difference. And you know, that's one of the things about Marquette. We're here because Marquette University wanted to go beyond the boundaries and wanted to make a difference in the community and change lives, change futures. We could not exist without Marquette University. Marquette University in 1969 started the Educational Opportunity Program. They looked at the city of Milwaukee, what was going on in the city of Milwaukee, and said, something has to change. So they began to work with students from diverse backgrounds, low income, first generation, people that lacked opportunity but had all the potential in the world to get a chance to go to Marquette University and get a degree. So they started there. But in 1973, Dr. Arnold Mitchell and also Dr. George Lowry started the Educational Opportunity Pre-College Program. And we call it, so it's a long name, our government name is a long name. It's the Educational Opportunity Pre-College Programs. Upper bound, math science, talent search, Project Rise, Project Soar, and Project Educational Talent Search. But we call ourselves, what do we call ourselves? College, but we call ourselves college-bound scholars. So we Marquette University, we're college-bound scholars. There's a number of programs. So right now, inside this room, we probably have about 250, 300 students that's in Marquette University Educational Opportunity College-bound scholars. Of course, we realize that's the Educational Opportunity Pre-College Programs, but that's a mouthful. How many people want to go to college? You'll go to college. Right? So that's why we're here. We're here because we're leaders. We're not followers. We change agents. And that's why, don't ever forget that. Because how bad it is out here, how dark it is in the world, we're our lights and we're called to be light. So we got to let our light shine. We're called to be light and we should let our light what? Shine. Absolutely. You don't have to curse the darkness. All we got to do is shine and be the light. So can we do everything? Maybe not. But can we do something? Absolutely. And that's what we're here talking about. Being the difference, being the change, making the change. Being college-bound what? Scholar. Absolutely. Absolutely. In just a second, we're going to get started. But like I said, make sure you turn off the phones. Make sure you check your pages. You got pages, right? You should have a pager these days. Yeah. And we call it, how many people know, we just talked about it, right? We're underneath the Educational Opportunity Program, and our executive director is Ms. Lyon Thomas, and she's gonna come in just a second. But we're also privileged to be on Marquette's campus because we got a great provost, and we got a great president that want to change lives. We're just not in the city of Milwaukee, we're good partners. And that's part of what we do, is to make a huge difference in the lives of the community all around Milwaukee. So I'm calling Ms. Lya Thomas to come up to the stage. Let's give a hand.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, thank you, Steve. So first, I just want to welcome everyone to the town hall. And as most of you know, like Steve said, I'm Lya Thomas. I'm the executive director of the Education Opportunities Program. I'm honored to introduce this very special and critically important gathering of our extended community. Students, today's town hall is the result of not only your hard work this summer, but a collaboration among many gifted professionals and the organizations they represent. Please join me in thanking Marquette University, Milwaukee's Office of Violence Prevention, Northwest Funeral Chapel, the Medical College of Wisconsin's Trauma Shadowing Program, Marquette Center for Peacemaking, and Shaka Smart, Big East and National Coach of the Year, and Mohib Dwyer, co-founder of Flood the Hood with Dreams and the I Will Not Die Young campaign. My friend and colleague, Mr. Stephen Robertson, led this effort, and I would be remiss if we did not also ask you to give Stephen, his Marquette EOP pre-college bound scholars, their teachers, counselors, peer mentors, and of course you students a round of applause. Parents in the room, you also deserve thanks for not only for raising such fine children, but for all the sacrifices you have made to ensure your students have been able to forgo the usual pleasures of summer vacation to learn and grow with all of us. I firmly believe that together we have become a living example of the university's aim to be the difference. Just this morning, I read of another instance of gun violence in the city of Milwaukee. If the solution to ending such violence were easy, surely one or more of the gifted people here today would have thought of it by now. While a simple solution may be beyond our grasp, that does not mean we can't do anything. Indeed, parts of the solution are all around us. The theme of your work this summer, students, have been Youth Rising, transforming my block, my city, my world. That kind of incremental transformation begins with each of us as individuals finding ways of choosing love over hate and nurturing the feeling of peace in our hearts. You have perhaps heard the phrase attributed to the late President John F. Kennedy, a rising tide lifts all boats. Its meaning suggests that success benefits all of those around us. Just as a rising tide will lift all the boats, not only one, your success this summer has that very same potential. Each of you has committed to becoming a change agent in your community. As you get involved, listen to your friends, your neighbors, and experts. You can show compassion for victims of bullying, violence, or abuse of any kind. Most importantly, you can use your voices to speak to the leaders of our community to let them know of your concern and your willingness to join them and to making our neighborhoods, our city, our world, a safer place for all of us to realize our dreams. Thank you. The absolute pleasure of welcoming our provost, the provost of Marquette University, Dr. Kimo Young, Executive Vice President of Academic Affairs.
Welcome, everyone. I am so glad that you are here. Stephen was talking about how Marquette makes a difference. I see it happen every day. I like to tell my story, and I only tell my story because some of it may resonate with you or it may not. So raise your hand if in your family you'll be a first-generation college student. Yeah. So there's a lot of you here. I'm a first-generation college student. And we take different paths. Either my parents graduated from high school, 2 of my 4 sisters did not graduate from high school, none of my sisters went to college. But I was fortunate that people stepped forward and became part of my life. I was able to go to college and get my master's and my PhD, and end up at a place like Marquette. And I will tell you, it's all about finding those people who are going to make a difference in your life. And I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. When you're at Marquette, we rested on a few phrases that you will hear over and over. And I'll ask you whether or not you've heard these before. So first, curb personalis. Have you heard that? All right. Curb personalis means caring for the whole person. And that means you need to take care of yourself, you need to take care of others, and we're talking about being part of the community, is that if you're going to help others, you need to first take care of yourself. Take time for reflection, take time to think about things, take time to figure out what is going to be your place in life. Men and women for and with others. Have you heard that? Men and women for and with others. What does that mean? It means we have an obligation. Each of you have an obligation to help other people. Right? To be that spark, to be that light, and to be that difference. And lastly, set the world on fire. That doesn't mean literally set the world on fire. We talk about setting the world on fire as, again, a way we make a difference. And I'll give you an example. There's a lot of ways we do that. Last weekend, there's an alum, his name is Brian Hodison. In 1981, he decided he wanted to make the difference in a children's hospital where they didn't have enough funding. And so he created a fundraiser that has been going on for 42 years now, where he's raised millions of dollars to be able to help kids in a hospital who could not otherwise get care. It's about figuring out what is your point of inspiration and doing something about it and taking action. So as you go through this day, think about, or as you continue this program, think about it. What I will say is, I expect all of you, if you want to find your path to Marquette University. Figure out a way to be able to get here, and then figure out how to make that difference. And I think it's going to go back to where I started with, is, what I understand is most of you are between 8th and 12th grade, is that correct? Is anybody outside that range? Right. But it's about, you have to look around, and your best asset in life, your best resource is yourself. Invest in yourself. And when you invest in yourself, you're going to end up at a place like Marquette or someplace else. You're going to get a college degree. You deserve to be here. You're going to be successful. And then you're going to make that change in the world, which we're hoping that all of you do. So again, thank you for being here. But before we end, do they know the We Are Marquette thing? Do they know We Are Marquette? I'm going to teach you right now. You are now part of the Marquette family. And so what we do is, we are all Marquette. I say we are, you say Marquette. Ready? You gotta do it loud too. We are Marquette! We are Marquette! Thank you for being here. That sounds pretty good. We are Marquette! So, we're hearing from everybody, we talk about being that difference. So when we look out here, people may see, but they may see statistics. But when we look out here, we see ambition, we see future doctors, lawyers, we see you being who you are and who you've been made to be. You're not here by accident. There's not a one person that's in here that's here by an accident. You're here because of providence. You're here for a plan. There's a reason why you're here, and we're gonna fulfill that. We're gonna fulfill it. How many people, your goal is to go to college and get a degree? Absolutely. Let's give a hand for that. Just while, in just a second, let's just do the first stanza. You can stay in your seat. That I'm a part of the fellowship around. On the count of 3. The first stanza in unison. 1, 2, 3. I'm a part of the fellowship of Upper Mount. I have the power and knowledge that I have been passed. I have stepped over the line. The decision has been made. I will go to college. I won't look back, let up, slow down, back away. I am Upper Mount. All right, let's give a hand.
difference makers, right? We're difference makers. We change the atmosphere. How do you know how to eat? People hot. How, you know what? Just realizing that you're hot is a thermostat, is a thermometer. But we need to find out where that thermostat at so we can change the atmosphere. And that's the same thing we do in life. We show up, we help, not just to say it's bad out there. It's hot out there. It's dark out here. But we come and we change the situation by being a what? Not dark, but being a what? A light, right? Not being hot, but changing that thermostat, putting that air conditioning down a little lower so we all can cool off. Let's put our hands together and receive that. Who's coming up, right? We know Coach Shaka, he comes every year and he speaks to us, right? But between last summer and this summer, he got an award. Anybody know what award he got? The Coach of the Year, the AP Coach of the Year. That's paying a big each, right? It's big each. Coach of the Year, let's give a hand.
What's up, y'all? Is this the mic or is this the mic?
Hey, you can try it. It won't work early.
Okay. I got a loud voice, so I don't not even need a mic. How's everybody doing? Good. So this is a celebration right here, right? Yeah. Well, congratulations. How's the summer been? Good. All right. How's the summer been? Good. You guys excited to go back to school? No. Okay, you got a little bit of time. All right. Just so I understand coming into this, because they always ask me to talk about certain things, but who in here has been here in previous summers and heard me speak before? Okay, so probably about a third of the people here. All right, so right off the bat, I want to apologize if I'm redundant, if I, say anything that I already said, but I have a pretty consistent message that I use with our team on a regular basis, and so I may repeat myself. Again, thank you for having me. It's always great to be around EOP. One of the first people that I met at Marquette was Aunt Debbie. Do y'all know Aunt Debbie? Come on up, Aunt Debbie. Come on, Aunt Debbie. Okay. So, who in here might attend Marquette? Who might attend Marquette? Okay, it's a pretty good number. Might come to Marquette. Not saying you got to commit right now, but we definitely want you thinking about potentially coming to Marquette. All right? If you come to Marquette and you are part of the EOP program, Aunt Debbie is who you want to know and be close with. Isn't that right, Aunt Debbie? There's multiple reasons behind that we don't have time to get into now, but just trust me, you're going to want to have that relationship. All right, so when I first got here, I met Aunt Debbie, and she said, hey, would you mind coming over to speak to the pre-college kids, Upward Bound EOP? I said, no problem. And then a couple weeks later, can you come over and speak to the current Marquette students, the EOP program? I said, yeah, we can do even better than that. Let's set aside some tickets for the EOP folks to come to games. And I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, that's mostly for the current EOP students at Marquette, right? Yes. So we got to do better than that this year. We got to get some tickets for the kids still in high school, all right, around the city. You paid last year. Well, that's a problem. That's a problem. You should be paying. You should be paying. Listen, I don't have a lot of power, but I do have access to a lot of tickets, all right? So I can get you guys tickets if you want to come to games. You just got to be organized, and we got to communicate. So my name is Shaka Smart. I'm the head basketball coach here at Marquette, going into my third year. A little bit of background on me that I want to share with you. I don't like to talk about myself, but this, usually in the past when I've spoken to groups, it's a way for you to feel some level of similarity with me. Because otherwise, I'm just some middle-aged guy standing up here talking at you, all right? But here's my background. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin, so I'm from this state. not Milwaukee, but the next biggest city in the state. I was raised by a single mom. When I was 2 years old, my dad went on a trip to go back to Trinidad, where he's from, which is in the Caribbean. He was supposed to be gone for 2 weeks, and he didn't come back for several years. I'm sure there's some people in the audience that can relate to that experience. So I was raised by my mom, and my coaches really played a strong role in my life, positive role as father figures. That's why I'm standing up here today, because of my coaches. When I was 9 years old, I moved 7 times in 1 calendar year. All right, again, there's probably some people in this room with some level of experience with dealing with poverty, dealing with instability, dealing with changes in your family. And so I went through that, and I'll tell you what, now being older, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went through that, because it made me stronger, it made me more resilient, and as you go through life, you're going to need those traits, you're going to need those attributes. I had no background in basketball growing up. I had no family members teaching me the game. I had no one that was pushing me to play basketball. I just kind of got into it organically, played a lot of sports, but basketball was where I had the strongest positive male role models, so that's kind of the sport that I gravitated to and played in college, and then ultimately made my profession. And then the most important thing about me as it relates to you all is I was very fortunate to benefit from the advice and the love and the support of mentors. Some of those being my coaches, but some of those being other people in my lives. And that's a theme I want to come back to in a minute. So they've been talking to you guys about be the difference, right? But that just starts today. And we've been talking about that all summer. All right, that's a big motto here at Marquette, but it's one of those things like every school, every organization, every company has a motto, and most of them are BS. Because it's just words up on the wall. All right? So here at Marquette, it's be the difference. And one thing I do appreciate about Marquette is a lot of people take that seriously, and they do strive to be the difference. And my thing is this, especially at a young age, even at my age, you got to be the difference in your own life first before you can be the difference for anyone else. All right? So to use Steve's analogy, you got to set the thermostat in your own life before you set the thermostat for anyone else. And the way we relate that or communicate that to our players is you have to play the starring role in your own growth and success. Every player that comes to Marquette to play for us, guess where he ultimately wants to go in the game of basketball? NBA. That's easy. Okay, so if you're good enough to come here and be on a full scholarship to play basketball at Marquette in the Big East, that means you're thinking one more step, like the next step for me is to the NBA. But how rare do you think that is? Very rare. And if I had magic pixie dust that I could sprinkle on them to turn them into NBA players, and I would do that with every player. I'm going into my 15th year as a head coach. I've coached 14 guys that have played in the NBA, so it's about 1 per season, less than 1 per season. And so what that means is it's hard. We have a cultural principle that we try to adhere to every day. We're about to practice after I leave here. And that is we get past hard. So part of being the difference is you're going to have to play the starring role in your own growth, your own success, and you're going to have to get past hard. I'm a big quote guy. So I want to share this quote with you, and I wrote it down so I made sure I got it right, because I hate when people mess quotes up. Most of you guys ever heard of this guy, but it's someone I would encourage you, particularly if you have a faith-based background, to look into him. His name's Howard Thurman, all right, one of the best preachers in American history. And he said, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Okay, so this is specific to you. Do not ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so whether you're at Marquette, whether you're in high school in the city of Milwaukee, or wherever you are, being the difference starts with coming alive. There's too many people right now that want someone else to turn them on. Like that ain't how life works. You got to turn yourself on. You got to activate yourself. And you got to figure out what it is that makes you come alive. And for me, it was basketball. although I love school as well. For you, it might be engineering, it might be mathematics, it might be you want to be a teacher, you want to be a mentor of some type. They asked me to talk about championship habits just because that's something that we use a lot with our guys. We truly believe first you make your habits and then your habits make you. So it's not about, like, we all have big goals and different things we want to do, but first you got to make habits that align with your goals. So whatever your expectations are, your habits, your daily living, it has to align with those expectations. Otherwise, that ain't gonna work. And so, wanted to give you 3 things that you should do and can do and need to do every single day in the upcoming year, because y'all are about to leave here and go your separate ways. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of programming throughout the year, including hopefully coming to watch us play. But for the most part, this is the end of the summer, and now can you jump off the stage, literally and figuratively, and grab hold of your life for the next calendar year? So 3 things I want to leave you with. Number 1, every day do something that's uncommon. Something that separates you in a positive way from the masses. Because unless you want to have average results, average outcomes, then your process, your habits, your behavior has to be uncommon. Here's the great thing. You get to choose what it is. You get to choose what it is. For me today, it's coming to talk to you guys. Most coaches would say, no, we got practice today, man. I'm locked in on practice and my team. I don't have time for that. But I want to come speak to you guys, and hopefully maybe there's 1 or 2 people here that I can impact. So do something uncommon every day. Has everybody got that? It doesn't have to be something grand and monumental. All right? It could be something really, really small. In fact, I encourage you to start with something really, really small. Number 2, and this could go hand in hand with number 1, be a positive domino in someone's life every day. So for us, a domino is a big term. When we win games, we call it domino of the game. The person that affected the people around them the most in a positive way, according to his teammates, is the guy that got voted the domino of the game. We make a big deal out of it. We celebrate it after every win. We put it on social media because, as you know, if something doesn't show up on social media these days, it didn't really happen. But for us, it's a way of celebrating the guy that impacted everyone the most. So for you, every single day, can you be a positive domino for someone in your life? Whether it's a sibling, whether it's a parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, when you go to school, all the different people you interact with in school. And again, a lot of times we look at things backwards. We want people to be a positive domino for us. But it's like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you want more positive dominoes, then you be a positive domino. And then number 3, and I said this before, so I'm sorry to repeat myself for those of you guys that have heard me speak, but I really think it applies so much to this group. And it still applies to me as a middle-aged guy that's been coaching for a long time. Seek out every day, not every other day. Seek out and utilize the help of mentors. Every single day. You might say, well, I don't have mentors. I don't have anyone like that. Nah. You know, the majority of my mentors, I don't even know. I don't even know them. I don't know Nick Saban. Any football fans in here? Never met him. You can say, Nick Saban, who's Shaka Smart? He wouldn't know who I was. But I studied him. I learned from him. And without even knowing it, he's a mentor of mine. And it doesn't matter that I'm a different race than him. I can still learn from him. Never like section yourself off like I can only learn from this group of people. I can only learn from men. Or I can only learn from women. Or I can only learn from everybody. Most of the best mentors out there, you don't need to know. Now, there are people that you can access in person. There's people in this room that can be very, very powerful mentors for you. And the reality is, all the great things you want to do in your life, you need help. You are not going to do those things by yourself. You have to play the starring role, but you need help. You need guidance. You need assistance. You need encouragement to stay on the path, because the path is hard. And let's be honest, for some of us, when we were born, the odds were stacked against us on our path. So what do you want to do? Do you want to give up? Do you want to feel sorry for yourself? Do you want to point to statistics? Or do you want to find the people in your life that can help you and go get it done? All right, I'll give you an example. Where's my man Trey going? Come on, Trey. He was just giving me a ride here. He didn't even know that he was coming up here. Hurry up, Trey. Come on, we don't got time. Okay, so this is my man Trey. He's from Chicago. He's going to be a freshman at Marquette this coming semester. All right, he's going to start his college career. He went to high school in Chicago. He played basketball on a really good team. And because the team was really good, he didn't play very much. He's not talented enough from a basketball standpoint to play on our team. But because he impacted people the way that he did with his personality, the energy he gives off, just his whole vibe, his coaches called me and they said, hey, I got a young man named Trey. He's coming up to Marquette. Would you be willing to allow him to be part of your program in some capacity? And so we get a lot of those calls, a lot of those texts. I was like, yeah, send us his information, we'll see. And it just so happened as we learned more about him, we said, yeah, we want this guy to be part of our program. So number one, he did a great job accessing those mentors at his high school that then in turn contacted me to be part of us and be part of our situation. We're going to Italy with our team in 8 days. All right, it just so happened we had a slot open up to go to Italy. And because I like Trey and the way he's been the last couple months, I said, Trey, you want to go to Italy? What would you say? Hell yeah! So you need to understand, like, he's really, how old are you? He's 18, okay? We got people sitting here that are 18, 17, 16, all right? So you might look at me like, I don't got much. No, okay? He ain't much different than you, all right? But what he's already started to do is lay the foundation, lay the groundwork for having a really, really successful career here at Marquette. And when the school year starts, on August 28th, we start class, he's already got a whole family around him. That's just one example. And so, seeking out and utilizing the help of mentors. Now he's got me as a mentor. That's pretty strong. That's going to help him. It's going to take him a long way. I want to thank you guys for having me. I always enjoy coming to speak to this group. I would like to put in a plug for you to strongly consider coming to Marquette, because we need more people at Marquette that look like us. And, you know, it's a real positive. Our last freshman class last year was the most diverse incoming class at Marquette University in the history of the school. So that's a positive. We're heading in the right direction. But I'll say this, like, the more of us there are, the more we can support one another. Because it's one thing to get here or get to wherever it is you go. It's another thing to matriculate through that school and continue to advance from freshman year to sophomore year to junior year to senior year to graduating to graduate school to postgraduate to becoming a doctor. Like, all those things, those all are building blocks that stack on top of one another. And guess what? There's going to be roadblocks in the way. And the more of us there are to help each other with that, the better. And so again, I want to put in a plug. Please consider Marquette. Take a hard look at Marquette. You got to do the work it takes to get into Marquette, all right, because it's a good academic school, but you absolutely can do it. The fact that you're here is a great start. And again, we'd love to see you come check us out at one of our games this year. So we'll work with Steve, we'll work with Aunt Debbie to make that happen. Thanks for having me here today.
Let's give a hand again for Coach Shaka.
Making a safe place, making a safe place. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. When you turn the doors off, you see the young man car. When you look at the bottom, you see the gunshots fire. Yeah, wonder what's together, running trucks. Stop the gun violence, make the world better place. Making a safe place, making a safe 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 place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place, yeah. Making a safe place, making a safe place. 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 Every day people feel bad and sad how the pain was happening. Walking down the street, someone throwing things, but then you got someone crying over someone throwing something at them. Let's make the world a better place. We're Marquette University.
All right, make it a safer place. Let's give a hand again for Shaka. I'm calling to the stage Mr. Butler.
Oh, my mama, I'm crying. That just made me real happy. And that felt real good. So I'm going to just walk off the stage. Can we do that again? That just made me feel real good inside. First of all, who made this PowerPoint spell my name wrong? I got a bone to pick with them, but we'll deal with that a little later. We'll deal with that a little later. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Y'all, I'm not going to be up here too long. I want to bring up these three phenomenal young women we've been working together for the last several weeks. And each of them over the last several weeks have come up to me like, Mr. Butler, I want you to hear this poem, my God. I want you to hear this poem, my God. So when Steve came to me and said he needed some young people, they immediately gravitated towards it. And I'm excited for what they come to share today. So ladies, y'all come up. Make some noise for my students. Make some noise.
My name is Denise. I'm a 10th grader and I go to Milwaukee High School. And this is my poem, Wounded. Okay. You have a weapon. It's called a gun. You might want to pull the trigger just for fun. But once you pull this trigger, it's all said and done. You drop the gun, now on the run, and another family got another wounded loved one. That loved one now bleeding on the pavement. But the place they got shot was the worst placement. I think about how I could lose my life to one bullet just by being at the wrong place at the wrong time. Me losing my life is someone else committing a crime. Crimes are committed every day by the pull of a trigger. In the speed of light, these graveyards are getting bigger. Teens my age are dying daily, cocking that gun pack. Got moms screaming out, my baby. We got sons missing their dads, moms missing their sons. These guns got our street flooded with bullets from them drums. I can't seem to see why people want to kill, kill, kill all day. These people with guns out here taking people's babies away.
am Lanaya Alexander. I'm a 10th grader, and my poem that I'm going to be telling y'all is called Violence. A weapon, a gun, a shot, a victim. The gun cocking back, somebody get him. He walks around with a gun like he's finna make a change, but it might end up with him being in chains or deep in grains. Teens running around kicking up violence, and the media eats it up, ain't nobody silent. Teen talking, being on the ground, but when you see a friend, everybody saying, long live them. We out here with free access to guns. Every time you turn around, everybody gotta run. Parents watching their sons and daughters fight. Nah, pretty cops out here taking our lives. My little brothers and sisters, I'm scared for them to grow up because systemic barriers, racism, and gun cases keep going up. I'm black, you black, we black, and they slack. Because they assume that our minds are whack and we gon' crack. When will the reality of our lives and violence change? Will it be dependent on authority to shift our pain? When will we stop seeing our loved ones bleed on the ground? I want to see crowns, gowns, and my people taking over their town. As we come together to make greater Milwaukee, put your guns down and engage for your crown.
My name is Dan, and I'm at Pius High School this upcoming year, and I will be a sophomore. And my poem name is Let's Talk Milwaukee. I'm 14, not 12. I know my numbers. I add them up well. If peace is here, I won't need to fear. No need to dial 911 until they finally appear. I'm used to seeing red liquid on the streets. When I was younger, it never clicked to me. These lights in the sky stay on during the night, but night and day I see red and blue rays. The quick, bright flash moves me from earth to heaven in a dash. The dash is real different, and their families are so distant. Kids up there, parents down here, I don't know, but something with me is not clicking. Now that I'm up here, I'm missing the dark. Think it was better to stay down here, but to separate from the park. Find my way in the dark, find my way out too, maybe. Someday, maybe I can help others stick it out. No matter if there's a path or not, make your own, and nobody can tell you how or when to make one. And now that I'm here, I'm still praying to God to keep my road clear.
Hey, come on! Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute, let me put some people in. Y'all gotta give my students a little more love than that. They only had less than 24 hours to prepare. I got the word that I needed some students just yesterday, and when I said they answered the call, they answered the call. So I am immensely proud of you young poets, and I can't wait for us to keep leveling this thing up, okay? Y'all make some more.
Let's give a hand to Mr. Butler and I don't know who's feeling. Hey, I don't know who's feeling. All right. Hey, heal the hood.
Hey, Fatty.
What are the English before?
I'm eating chips.
Did you do welcome outside yesterday?
No,
Why not?
I forgot that I was tired.
Go! See this now, you stupid boy.
Let's give a hand again. The student produced. Student produced. Student produced. Next we're calling. Yep, thank you. But while Mr. Ratt's coming, we're calling the juniors that had a statistics class from Mr. Evans. So we have one of the winning teams, or one of the teams that's going to represent them. And you know who you are, please take the stage. Come on. Let's give a hand to the young students that's already dealing with the data. They're going to talk about some of the data.
Dead. Drugs and all dreams. Meet the team. Hi, I'm Brianna. I'm a junior. What's the team?
My name is Annalisa, but my nickname is Annie, and I'm 16.
My name is Cameron. I'm 16.
Tomas could not participate today, but he did a lot of hard work on this project as well. We asked about 60 people to take a survey on drug abuse in the United States. These are our findings. This is our board. You will see it in the back, but here it is right there.
So we interviewed like 50 plus people, and these are their thoughts about who's most likely to do drugs, which gender is most likely to do drugs. And we had a staggering amount, 90% of males that did drugs, and only 88.1% of females that did drugs. But females were more likely to be hospitalized or overdose on drugs.
Another thing to note here is that these are all opinions, so they are not actual facts. A lot of people chose male. When I think of why, I think of the streets and gangs. Of course, a majority of gang members are in fact male, and you will see very few females. So that could be why.
The race that's most likely to be involved in drug abuse is primarily white people, leading at 43%. Black people came in second place at 37%. Hispanics were at 13.5%, and Native Americans and other races were tied at 2.7%.
Something to note here, even for me, this was quite shocking. But as I thought about it, it kind of made more sense. As you know, white people have more opportunities. They are more educated. And some get to go to higher schools. They can get away with things. And selling drugs could be one of those.
And you also have to keep in mind that there's more white people on this planet than, I guess, other races, so they're obviously going to have the higher drug abuse percentages. But with this, does drug abuse cause poverty? 16% of people said no, but 83% of people said yes. And I want to extend on that, and I think a big place on where it stems from is like education. People are more concerned about the feeling of getting high and having fun and hanging out with their friends in their high school years, that they're not concerned about getting A's and B's that they should and that they can work hard to get. I feel like a lot of people have the potential to get those good grades, but they do other things because they're not thinking about their future. And since they're not thinking about their future, getting a low GPA and not graduating college can lead to getting a low-paying job. And when you have a low-paying job, you're working from paycheck to paycheck, and you don't really have much to sustain yourself with. And not getting a good enough job can lead to poverty in the outcome. And then poverty can just lead to more drugs and more dependence on drugs because you're just in that cycle. That's what you know. That's what you've been doing all this time. And it's kind of hard to stop a cycle once you got that far into it.
She pretty much summed it up. Drug abuse causes poverty. Drugs cost money, just like most of the things in the US, or in the world in general. Usually when people have their jobs, they will spend their paychecks on their addictions first, instead of taxes, or their bills, or lesser things, food, water, causing them to no longer take care of their children or themselves. The reasons for drug abuse. An overwhelming amount of people said to escape from reality. But before we get to that, I want to touch on the other things. And second, we got mental struggles. Raise your hand if you have struggled with mental health. And if you're not comfortable, you don't have to raise your hand. That's a lot, right? Has anyone ever thought about turning to drug use because of your mental struggles? I have many times. But amazingly, I was able to stop thanks to my friends and family. But most of my peers and friends, they never got that. Mental health is a huge issue, and we can turn to negative coping skills, drug abuse being one of them. Peer pressure. Has anyone or everyone been pressured to do something that they really did not want to do? Yeah, it happens. Your peers can make you do drugs too. It may seem cool or it's popular around here, but they will force you to do that. But ultimately, it is your choice. Violence. To escape. Violence is something we see, deal with, think of, hear about every day. Drug abuse could be one of the causes of that. Fighting over the drugs, perhaps. Domestic abuse was tied with boredom. Domestic abuse kind of goes with violence. Violence in the home, with a loved one. You may turn to drugs to escape. And as for boredom, you feel like you have no reason to keep going. You're bored. You have nothing to do. But doing drugs makes you feel lighter, better, when it's actually not good for you. All of these correspond with escaping from reality.
So as you guys can see, all of these things that we just mentioned, like peers, mental struggles, boredom, violence, domestic abuse, they all come into escaping from reality, because it's easier to just not think about, like if it's really troubling you, it's easier to just not think about it, just bury deep down and to just get high than to actually confront your problems.
Drug abuse can cause more of. A majority of people said debt and finance, though we touched on this a little earlier. You are spending money on drugs. It's an addiction. You can't stop spending because that's how you get the drugs in the first place. So therefore, you end up in debt, whether to the drug dealer or the same things as before, not paying your bills. Another one was domestic violence again. Whether it is the abuser who is the one taking drugs or the victim. Our next one was car accidents. Usually, when people get high or do drugs, they do need to transport themselves, but they make the wrong choice of driving, and that causes problems. The next one is gang violence. Like I said, drugs are mainly involved in the streets with gangs. It's where they sell it, get it from. Now, this could go two ways. The gangs are fighting each other, or the ones who are buying, when they end up in debt. And the final one is homicides. All of those things I said before could end up in a death or murder. on substance abuse for the user. It causes the user to separate from their family. When you do drugs, you become different. You change. And your loved ones and friends may not know you for who you are anymore. They might separate themselves from you. Mental illness. Drug abuse changes you. It'll change the way your brain works and how you think. It can make you mentally ill. Abuse their family. Like I said, drug use makes you lose yourself. You won't be able to control your emotions or how you feel, and that could cause you to hurt others. Debt bankruptcy, a topic we've talked about since the first slide. And then turn to sex work. To feed that drug addiction, people will go beyond, put their lives and bodies on the line, just to get a few drugs. The connection to drug use. Most of the people we surveyed knew someone or did not know anyone who did drugs. As you can see, a lot of people said yes, and that they knew many people who did drugs, about 5 or 10. 1, 2, 3 said, yeah, I know a couple people. And quite a few people said no. We asked people, have they been high or intoxicated? Now, a lot of people said yes, which is a little concerning since I did ask some of my student peers, not just here, but from my school as well. It concerned me, and it made me worried. They described it as being uncomfortable, not feeling a sense of self, but they didn't feel the pain anymore, so they continued to. And half of that said no. I asked them, do they feel safe? Most people said no. Some people said, I feel a little safe. Some people said always. And the second most, some people said sometimes. The age to begin drug use. Most people believe that people get involved in drug use in their late teens. As you can see, over 30 people chose 10 to 15. 16 to 20, more than 50. 20s to 30s, about 20, and about 10 of 40. Nobody said 5 to 9-year-olds. Though nobody said that, I still want to make it aware that some kids are introduced to drug use at that young age. Our solution.
So for our solution, we asked for the following questions: how can drug abuse be stopped? And should drugs be taken seriously? For the first question, we got 70.3% of people voted for rehab programs, and 24.3% voted for drug import and export searches. 5.4% of people voted for a list of drug users. For the second question, we got 62.1% agreed that drugs should be taken seriously, and 16.2% think that drugs shouldn't be taken seriously.
And I want to add something to that right before the conclusion. It actually doesn't matter. Like, in order to stop this, how drugs can be stopped, it's like, yeah, you can go to rehab programs and you can do all these things, but you really gotta want to stop first. You can't just expect, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop later when I get older. Like, that's not how it works. You gotta say, okay, I'm tired of this lifestyle and I don't like where my future is headed with this lifestyle, and I don't want to become a drug addict, so I'm going to stop it right here. And you have to make the first step and reach out to those people, because people don't want to see you like that. People want to help, and it's your job to just be open with them about it and go to them about it.
Our conclusion. conclusion. In conclusion, our overall data determine drug abuse causes harm to not only the users, but their friends, families, and communities. Our proposition is to increase accessibility to rehabilitation programs and counselors for those who currently struggle, and to teach future generations the cost and consequences of drug use, to prevent people from falling into the rabbit hole called drug abuse. Don't waste your life. Life does not rewind. Don't do drugs.
Let's give a hand again. Stanza 2 of the creed goes on 1, 2, 3. All right, come on, give a hand. Panel 1, we're calling Sydney and Taylor and Javen. You know, if you're on panel 1, please come up. Brandon. Jonathan. John. London. All right, come on up.
You all hear me? Hey guys.
All right, better make sure your mic is on. So the first question, I want you to just say your name and your grade. Name and your grade.
I'm Cindy Griffin. I go to Nicolay High School. Oh, I'm a senior. My name's Taylor Watson, and I'm a senior.
My name's Brianna Patton, and I'm a junior.
My name is James Durden, and I'm a senior. My name is Brandon D.K., and I'm a junior.
My name is John Crimes, and I'm a senior.
My name is Wendy Russell, I'm a junior.
So I'm gonna put a question out there. If you want to speak to it, comment on it, just make sure you put the microphone up and go ahead. What have you learned or gained from the College Bound Scholars Summer Focus of Peace and Being the Difference? What have you learned and or gained from our focus this summer?
So, what I've learned that it's not easy to make change. It's like really hard. And like through all these struggles, through all these things that we see every day, all this pain that we create and we try to fix, not everyone's going to be able to create change. Not everyone's going to be able to make change. But you can always try. There's nothing wrong. Just helping one person helps the world, you know what I mean? And even though some of you people, some of y'all are going to make it big, are going to be real famous, going to be help a lot of people, everyone doesn't have to. They don't have to do everything that's huge. They just have to put the effort and put the work in to change something. And when you change something, you create more people that change more.
Others, what have you learned?
From my time that we're bound during the summer, I learned how to be a mediator to my peers. I learned how to dispute situations so they don't become something bigger than what they could be. I learned the knowledge of how to help other people in my life. So I want to go back to my community. my community and help other people, like EOP has given me like the opportunity to become a better person, so I'm really grateful for that.
I learned to be a bigger person in some situations. When I first started here when I was a freshman, I've like changed like a lot to now them me being a senior. It's just like I grew and I'm still growing and I'm going to continue to grow and be a better person.
This summer, I learned how to have leadership. Through my freshman year, sophomore year, I was always told I had the qualities and characteristics to be a leader, but I never understood what it meant to really be a leader. And over the time, everybody who's been here, all the mentors, TCs, everybody, they just helped me learn how to become a leader and really help me build the mold. And this summer, Mr. Butler, Hood and everything, it helped me learn how to be comfortable in my skin, learn how to have confidence. It helped me learn to be myself and not be afraid to be myself or feel some type of way and just learn how to break the stigma.
That's great. Second question, what does it mean for someone to be the difference or make a difference?
To be a leader, to have confidence in yourself and to just show younger people or even older people how to like make a change in the world and just give your knowledge and what you know how to relate it to them and make them a better person.
What does it mean for someone to be or to make a difference?
To me, it's not always being a leader, but it's also about working hard. To me, making a difference is to be able to change something little, big, small, large, whatever it is. Becoming a hard worker, you're at a job. Let's say you're in a trade job. You build houses, you're in architecture. You're making a difference by creating homes, by creating lives for other people. Like to me, I think that being the difference, to create a difference, to make a difference, is by doing the smallest change or the biggest change to just help.
Repeat the question. What does it mean for someone to be or to make a difference? We're talking about be and difference.
To be, I think is the leadership, the resources, and to like be different from others, better opportunity, and accepting criticism. And yeah.
I feel like to be the difference, you have to use your uniqueness and God-given talents to help others any way you can. Being unique in your own way, John said, being yourself can make a difference in people's lives and make changes. So I feel like you just being yourself can be the change and be the difference.
Periana 8, stop it. All right, go ahead, John.
To be the difference or to make change, I feel as though it only has to come down with helping one person a day. You see somebody down, you see somebody sad, just check up on them, give them a hug. Mr. Butler, I'm gonna keep bringing him up because that's my teacher. I'm gonna show love to my teacher. To be the difference or to make change, you don't have to be somebody who's like, you don't gotta be somebody like Mr. Butler or be somebody like Steve. It's just about helping one person a day. They help a large amount of people every day, and I'm thankful for that. They helping me as of right now. But to just help somebody one day is just to be different, to help make change. You don't
You be you. You don't have to be nobody else. Be yourself. God made you one of a kind. He broke the mold when he made you. You have a unique DNA, a unique fingerprint. You're here not to be a copycat, but to be the difference. Hey, Mauricio, to be the difference. Don't let nobody on your side distract you from your goal. And you know what? Because there's a plan and there's a purpose for your life. And you got to realize there's a plan and a purpose for your life. And you have gifts, talents, and abilities. And with those gifts, talents, and abilities, it may not be like somebody else. So it's no competition with nobody else. You be you. God made you uniquely you. I said, God, you're one of a kind. You're not a knockoff. You are designed, you are tailor-made. You're not meant to be like somebody else. You're meant to run your race, use your gifts, use your talents. Don't let nobody from your left or your right distract you from your goal. Keep the goal in mind. Keep the most important thing in mind, right? Keep the major in the majors. Minor in the minors. Don't make major small stuff into big stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't be tripping about somebody else. You have gifts, you have talents, you have a unique intelligence that's uniquely to you. Be you. Don't try to be somebody else. That's what he's saying. Let's give it up for that. This question is, how would you like to show up as a peacemaker? How would you like to show up as a peacemaker?
I think how I would like to show up is warm, welcoming, calm, not to sound offensive to anyone, to be gentle. I feel like that's the best way of showing that you are, in fact, at peace, humbled, relaxed. That you won't judge, to make someone feel like, I can go to this person, whether to be a friend, to get advice, just for a hug. I feel like that's the best way.
I feel as though to be a peacemaker, you gotta be somebody who able to motivate. There's a lot of people in the world who do a lot of things that people deem not okay, and just telling them it's not okay isn't enough. Everybody in this world has goals and dreams, whether it's just as simple as wanting to be a millionaire, billionaire, help buy their mama a house, whatever the case may be. But they robbing people, stuff like that. That's not gonna help you get to that goal. You gotta be able to motivate people. You gotta be able to tell them, no, you can be better than that. You can do better. And you gotta be able to help them, just help motivate. Maybe you can't be the person to help them, but to help motivate somebody can easily be enough of a change to be a peacemaker.
Anybody else?
I'm stretching my bag up. Agreeing with John, yeah, I really go into that. And I also think that being a peacemaker is being a role model, being a mentor, being a parent, being someone that other people can look up to. Being a peacemaker is showing the right instead of the wrong, and being able to lead people even if they are in the wrong, being their light out of, being able to lead them out of the darkness that they're in. So, to me, a peacemaker is someone you can talk to, someone you can show love without feeling like just backlash or hurt or harm from them. That's really all it is. I don't know what else to say to it, but that's what a peacemaker is to me.
Can you guys tell me what's some practical things you can do to help make a difference in somebody else's life?
Okay, you could be nice and help people out when they need help and just being a good person.
you can always be there for someone, even if they say, I don't want to be like bothered. Just like always check up on someone when you see that they're like not acting their regular self. And just always have a positive attitude around people that you know struggle, and just have a smile on your face.
I feel like just giving a compliment, saying hello, saying how are you, like I said, checking up on someone, being nice, opening the door for someone, or just coming to someone and being like, hey, how are you? What do you like? Trying to bond with someone can easily like make them feel better. Giving them a compliment, making them feel good about themselves. Because you never know what's going on in someone's life or how their day is going. So I feel like just being the positive energy changes it all.
God calls all of us to be like good Samaritans, so I feel like we should be all good in that aspect. You should find like what you can be for other people, like even just helping a homeless person across the street, like buying them food or buying them whatever. And also opening your clique. Like people want to like stay with people that they always with, but I feel like you should open your circle and welcome people that like you aren't usually with. Like, oh, you see somebody sitting by themselves, oh, go talk to them. Like, be friends with them. You don't have to always be with the same people you're always with. You could, like, make new friends that you never know you could make before. Like, that could be your best friend for the next 5, 10 years of all your life. But you just make that step to talk to them. That would, like, that could change your life as well. So I feel like we should just, like, open our circle.
The biggest thing for me is being a good listener. Me personally, I think that I'm a good listener, but I love the person that is able to listen to me. Because honestly, there's a lot of things that us people, as people, hold and we can't really talk about. And there's a lot of struggles that we deal with. And being able to just have someone by your side, just being able to talk to them, even if you don't want them to talk back to you, it's them being able to understand and then being able to listen to what you have to say. That's what it is.
For me, it's as simple as just being able to make somebody laugh. Maybe you're not the best listener, maybe you're not the hugging type of person. You can't be that person that's really there for people. But if you're able to just make somebody laugh every day, not make them feel the way that they always feeling, like the bad ways they feeling, because everybody don't want to talk about their inner demons. But just being able to make somebody laugh and not think about it, that helped them in so many ways you could never understand. So just being there, being that happy, fun person that they could be around to feel great is an easy way.
Be great. He said, be great. If you didn't hear. See, in order for you to be great, you gotta be you. You gotta be comfortable being in your skin. You gotta be comfortable being up at the front. You gotta be comfortable being uncomfortable sometimes. He said you gotta be great. When you're great, it's not just good because you're putting the work in. You're willing to go above and beyond and put the work in so you can be great. You're not going to be great if you're not going to put that time in, that energy in, that work in. Let's give it up for the panel. Yeah, y'all be great. Last thing, what word of advice would you give to the audience, to the freshmen, to the underclassmen, to other people about making a difference, being a difference, and just a word of advice that you would give them? You get a phrase.
A phrase, okay. Go hard, be kind and show love.
My quote is, have fun.
For me, honestly, it's taking God-given opportunities that you can and use them as you can. That's it.
Be patient, be kind, and be loving, and show love.
My advice, man, just be you. Like at the end of the day, you're the only person that's there for yourself at all times. So just be you, be kind, be gracious to other people, because you don't know when that person might repay you in the future. So just live life, man. That's it.
My piece of advice is to just find a way to be different. If you've been like everybody else, who don't want to give you an opportunity? They can just find the same person who just like you. If you find your own way to be unique, they're gonna find a way to want to come to you.
Just have fun.
Just have fun and be great. And when you're great, you can have fun. When you find your niche in life, when you find your gifting and your talents, and when you put, some people talking, and when you put the time and effort into that gift and talent, that grace that you've been given, people will pay you to do that thing. They'll show up to see you do that thing. It can be poetry, it can be spoken word, it can be sports, it can be athletics, it can be your mind, it can be your talent. People will show up and see you do your thing. If you're great, then you can have fun. But you can't be playing and having fun and you ain't putting the work in. You gotta put that work in. You gotta work hard now so you can play later on. Be great and have fun. Be great and have fun. Yup, be great and have fun. Uniquely be you. You be you. I think I'm about to write a book about that. You be you. I lived a long life trying to be somebody else. And I'm telling you, when I was trying to run somebody else's race instead of running my own race, I was coming second place. But when I started running my own race, you can't beat me being me. You can't beat me being me. I tell a story all the time. I studied bad. I had birthmarks on my forehead. I was comparing myself to other people and what they did well. Didn't realize that I had gifts, talents, and abilities inside me that I had to work on. I had to develop. And in the midst of it, I don't care where you are, what you find, there's some intelligence there. There's some gifts, talents, and abilities there. And what we're saying today is, you be you. You go out and make a difference in this world. You go out and set this world on fire. Because, right, the world is going to be better off because you've been here. So be great, and then you can have fun. Hey, I'm about to get the way. We have a brother coming, and he's phenomenal. You know, some of y'all know him and seen him. You know, I'm not gonna give him a long. I'm not he comes here, every time he comes here, he's coming home. I remember when I was working here on my first stint. He was a tutor counselor. Man, and who would have known what God had in store for him? He traveled all around this world because he found his gift. He found that special talent. And then he put that energy in and then work in on that talent. And people pay him money, far and send for him far and near. All kind of documentaries, all kind of other stuff. But he's our brother that's coming back home. So when he'll die, let's receive him in his own way. How y'all doing today? Nah, y'all be giving more energy than that. How y'all doing today? All right, listen. We don't do anything without energy, so I need all of y'all to stand up for me real quick. Come on now. I know y'all like, ah. Come on now. Listen to me. Y'all been studying violence. Y'all been studying the problems and the issues in this city. Raise your hand if you ever lost anybody to violence. So look here. The reason why we start with energy every time is because somewhere in this city, somebody can't breathe. Somewhere in this city, somebody is in the grave. Somewhere in this city, somebody died too soon. So on the count of three, we always want to remember our blessings and the things we had to be grateful for. And the number one thing we had to be grateful for is ourselves. So if you're glad you woke up this morning, say yeah. Nah. If you're glad you woke up this morning, say yeah. If you believe in your life, say yeah. If you're tired of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poor, say yeah. If you know that we are the ones we have always been waiting for, say yeah. You want to go deeper, say deeper. Want to go higher, say higher. When I say love, you say life. Love. When I say success, you say success. Success. When I say freedom, you say freedom. Freedom. Clap your hands and make some noise. You may be seated. I seen some of y'all a couple weeks ago at the funeral home. And that was a very powerful and impactful moment that we had. Those of y'all who haven't seen me in this room, who am I and why am I before you right now? My name is Muhir Guy. I represent an organization out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin called Flood the Hood with Dreams and the I Will Not Die Young campaign. Why me and my partner, Governor Antone Nixon, call our organization Flood the Hood with Dreams? Well, about 20 years ago, we started going to schools asking young kings and young queens like yourself what you want to be when you grow up. Turn the lights up. And they'll give us what's called the politically correct answer. They'll raise their hand and say, ooh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a businessman or businesswoman. I want to own a Fortune 500 company. I want to be rich. I want to rule the world. Then one young king could be sitting in the back of the classroom not paying attention, throwing spitballs. And I say, young king, what you want to be when you grow up in here way in the yard? And I say, young king, what you want to be when you grow up here way in the yard? And I say, really, young king, what you want to be when you grow up? And he'll look me dead in the eye like I'm looking you in the eye right now. And excuse my language here, say, don't come around here talking about no damn dream. Because where we come from, we don't make it past the age of 21. And where we come from, I was walking down the street in my hood and I seen my guy get shot in the head and the hood told me I better not tell. And where we come from, we ain't seen our daddies one day in our lives. And where we come from, my little sister got molested by my auntie boyfriend. And guess what? She didn't tell nobody. Guess why? They said she was too fast and she she deserved it anyway. Bogus, right? So we start calling our organization Flood the Hood with Dreams, because we believe children who come from streets called Burleigh, Garfield, Galena, Vine, Center, Hogan, and Buffalo, where they say East, 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 and they gang bang all day, every day. We deserve, listen to me, we deserve to have a dream too. So if you know you deserve to have a dream too, and you ain't gonna let nobody stop you, you ain't gonna let the hood stop you, you ain't gonna let what people say about you stop you, I want you to clap your hands and make sure. Because greatness is in the room. But we also here today because you know what? Sometimes it feels like we live in a city that hates us. They hate us. They hate to see us shine. They hate to see us progress. They hate to see us be more than the blocks that we come from. So why are we here today? Because all those things that you've been talking about, being a change agent, and how to get there, a lot of those things are sabotaged by where we from. And where we from? You see where we from? They say we don't graduate from middle school to high school to a college like Marquette or Penn State. They say where we from? We graduate straight from the block to the state pen. And they say, where we from? We ain't got no mentors. We ain't got no summer camps where people are pouring greatness into us. No, where we from, all we got is these jail suits, and these jail suits be talking to us. And these jail suits be saying, little black boy, little brown boy, little white boy, wear my suit. And we say, no. And the jail suit be saying, little black girl, little brown girl, little white girl, wear my suit. And we say, no. Because my mama said, if I go to school and I get a good education, I can beat you and laugh at you. Little dude, you can't beat me. You're going to be just like your local daddy. You're going to be like everybody who look like you, who walk like you, who talk like you, who grew up in the same hood as you. This is where they belong. What, you want to be a doctor? That's for the smart people of the world. You want to be a lawyer. You want to be a businessman. You want to own a Fortune 500 company. No, that's for the smart people of the world, the people who live on Lake Drive. That ain't for you. What's for you? You're supposed to jump off the porch. So what you do, you be having one leg in, one leg out. Halfway going to school, halfway on the block. Halfway trying to be somebody, halfway not. And ultimately, we put that foot in, and we say, I'll wear your suit, because after all, what else do I have to live for? But that's where we're from. And they say, where we from, we get down on our hands and our knees. And we be searching for the truth, but it's only a lie. And we get mad and frustrated because it's like nobody is there for us. And the mantra that we live by is, I ain't gonna cry no more. You see, I ain't gonna cry no more because crying tears is for what? They for punks, and we ain't no punks. We some thugs. We some real thugs. I'm a real thug, Daddy, because you never taught me how to be a real man. I'm a real thug because my daddy never taught me how to be a real man. My daddy never taught me how to be no real man. My daddy never sat me down on his lap and read me bedtime stories that told me that I could be somebody. He never loved me. Your daddy loved you. He never wanted me. He wanted sex from my mama. My daddy never loved me. He never wanted me. I was an accident. He never loved me. He never wanted me. He begged my mama to get an abortion. My daddy begged my mama to get an abortion, and when she refused, he got down on his hands and his knees, and he prayed to God. He said, Lord, please don't allow this woman to have this baby. When she refused, he got down on his hands and his knees, and he prayed to God for her to lose me. She didn't lose me, but for his sins, I had to pay the cost. I wasn't still born. No, my mama didn't lose me. I wasn't still born, but I was still born lost. But I ain't gonna cry, Because crying tears is for what? They for punks, and I ain't no punk. I'm a thug. I'm a real thug. So in school, I became that real thug. I never cried tears, but I was screaming on the inside. I was screaming on the inside trying to get some of my teachers' attention, but some of them wouldn't listen. I got mad because some of them would listen. I got mad because some of them kept trying to teach me some white stuff in some books that had no relevance to my existence. I got mad because they kept talking about Christopher Columbus and Thomas Jefferson and what they were supposed to mean to me when I didn't eat last night. You eat last night? My daddy never cared about me. I be seeing dudes get shot on the block every night where I come from, and ain't nobody telling me it's gonna be all right. Ain't nobody telling me it's gonna be all right. And ain't nobody telling me that if I dig down deep inside my soul, it must have the strength and the power to overcome these circumstances. I can make it. I'm smart too. We smart too. We can make it. But ain't nobody listening. So instead of listening, what they do, they sent me home. They suspended me. They renamed me LDED, Attention Deficit Disorder Boy, like I can't learn. They claimed I was uncontrollable, so they had me struck out on something called Ritalin. I don't need no drugs to control me. I don't need no drugs to control me. I was just playing. All I ever really wanted them to do was to listen. And y'all know how the rest of the story go. The boy dropped out of school. The boy get out there on the block. The boy had that pistol. But that boy riding in stolen cars. That boy pulled that thing out on somebody, they shoot, he died, or he locked up. Same old, just a different day. But that's how it is where we from. And where we from? Maybe few of us never get out of this jail suit. Where we from? And where we from? You are the smart one in your family. You feel like you're the only one. What about your cousins? What about your siblings? And what about those who we lost along the way? Because where we from, if we ain't locked up, we a face on a t-shirt. And where we from, nobody ever tells us that we can write our own book. Nobody ever tells us that we could be an author. Nobody ever tells us that we could travel around the world and tell our own story. Nobody ever tells us that we belong in the world because our gifts will make room for us. They don't tell us that. They tell us you were shrine to teddy bear or flower. They tell you, bring out the yellow tape. They tell you, that's how it's gonna wind up. Because where we from, there's the sound of the 4.5 and the sound of the Glock 9 and the sound of the Tech 9 and the sound of the 38 and the sound of the 38 and the sound of the 38 went bow as the bullets, bow as the bullets, bow as the bullets, ping, ping, ricochet through the barrel of the pistol, suddenly colliding with the sound of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 8, 9, 1, 10. Little girl jumping rope momentarily mixed with the sound of skirt, 20-inch ram screeching away from the sea of the crowd forever living the sound of, no, you don't understand, see. No, you don't understand, see, you don't understand. That's my baby, the now panic and screams of a morning mother because the sound of the woo, woo, woo. Ambulance came too late once again, and once again the sound of 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, pumping air into her chest, ain't enough. 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, it ain't enough. It ain't enough of the sound that we're losing her. It goes through the hood as we all wait to hear, knowing what we hear, hoping after the sound of the woo, flatline and now separates us from heaven. And the sound of us be like, there ain't no well, that's life, where that little girl go. There ain't no well, that's life, where that little girl go. There ain't no well, that's life. Can't do nothing about it. The sound of 4-year-old James Doe was shot to kill newspaper for his voice. It is a homeowner go one ear and out the other is us two conservatives, us two conservatives, us two conservatives. Sound of rap music like same old ish, just a different day. Out here trying to get it each and every way. Mama need a house, baby need some shoes. Times is getting hard. What we finna do? Hustle, 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 hard. Closed mouths don't get fed on our boulevard. Is where we from. We be hustling that boy, don't we? And we be dealing that boy, don't we? And we be trying to be the boy at the expense of never becoming a man. And bam, son, I said, bam, son, I said, bam, son, her book of life closing. No happy ending, no Prince Charming, no knight in shining armor, just another story. Another ghetto story, the sound of which rock-a-bye baby rocks together to sleep into the bow-bow wakes us up so we can do it all over again. And if you didn't hear me the first time, family, shh, bow-bow, pee-pee, chins with that, but no, you didn't listen, that's my baby, 1,000, we're losing her, woo! Dang, oh well, that's life, 4-year-old, Jane, oh boy, rock-a-bye baby. Where we from? Listen, I'm so glad I didn't just come here to talk about where we're from. Raise your hand if you know we got something more in us than where we come from. Put your hands down. Raise your hand if you know you got some greatness inside you that people from where you come from might not recognize it. Put your hands down. Raise your hand if you know you a blessing, even though people where we come from might think we trash. So if you know you got something great inside you, and you know you a blessing, and you know you ain't gonna let nothing stop you from reaching all the way to the top, I want y'all to repeat after me. Say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. Loud, louder than all y'all. Say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. It's where you go. It's where you go. Say it louder. Say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. It's where you going. It's where you go. On this side of the room, say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. I like that. Say, it's where you go. It's where you go. Come on. Say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. Say, it's where you go. It's where you go. Bring it together. Say, it ain't where you from. It ain't where you from. It's where you go. It's where you go. Say, and where we go. And where we go. It's all the way. It's all the way. To the top. To the top. Clap your hands and make some noise. I'm about to get out of your way, but let me just say this before I get out of your way. I don't see my brother right here, real quick. Where my brother Isaac at? He tapped out. All right, so look. It's all good. It's all good. Pastor Steve, come here for a minute. So look, real quick. I don't know where y'all can see this. I'll put it down here. If you can't see it, imagine. But look, this is what we're going to call, for the sake of today, we're going to call this the ladder of success. Boom. Let's put it in the middle to be fair. All right? See, I want y'all to do one thing for me. See, at the bottom of this ladder is where we're from. It's all the pain, it's all the hardships, it's the challenges, it's the things that we see on a regular basis. But at the top, this degree is a representation of who you can be. It's where we're from, it's where we're going. But how do we climb up the ladder? 4 ways you climb up the ladder. Number 1, I need y'all to repeat after me. Say, life has 2 rules. Life has 2 rules. Say, life has 2 rules. Life has 2 rules. Say, rule number 1. Rule number 1. Don't quit. Don't quit. Rule number 2. Rule number 2. Don't forget rule number 1. Don't forget rule number 1. That was the late great Duke Ellington. He said, life has 2 rules. Rule number 1, don't quit. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Look at me, young kings and queens, right now. There will be some things in your life that come your way, no matter how talented, no matter how gifted, no matter how intelligent you are. There are some things that's going to come your way, some tragedies, some losses that's going to make you quit. Some heartbreak. I told my daughter one time, she's full of life and full of confidence. I said, baby girl, I never know who you are until you get your heart broken. Because then I will really see who you are. Heartbreak will make you want to fold. will make you want to give up, will make you want to quit. I had a friend just last week, 2 weeks ago, who got killed. I had to still come here and speak today, even though my heart is hurt. Preached this funeral on Friday. I still gotta hug his kids. I still gotta keep moving. 48 years old, we figured we out of it. Life will come your way and it will smack you. And either you're gonna break or you're gonna keep going in spite of. Raise your hand if you got somebody who gone that you gotta live for. Somebody who gone, who on the other side and who depended on you to live for them. Get that degree for them. Graduate from high school for them. Graduate from college for them. Once you do that, if you don't quit, man, you almost halfway up the ladder. Rule number 2. Y'all, rule number 2, listen to me. Thing number 2. Second thing you gotta do is this. Y'all repeat after me, say, my dream. My dream has to be bigger. Has to be bigger. In the ghetto. In the ghetto. And the ghetto is many different things. The ghetto can just be your pain. The ghetto can just be relationships that are negative. Your dream gotta be bigger than the ghetto, y'all. Who got a dream in here? Raise your hand if you got a dream. What's your dream? See it? What's your dream? Give her a round of applause. Huh? We got a business owner in the room. We got a surgeon in the room. What else we got in the room? What's your dream? We got an artist in the room. Everybody else, what's your dream? We got a chef in the room. So put some good old boys, clap your hands and make some noise. What's your dream? We got a what? We got an engineer in the room. We got a neurologist in the room. Huh? We got a therapist in the room. What's your dream? We got a veterinarian in the room. I'll take one more. What's your dream? We got an author. We got an author in the room. So, if you remember that your dream is bigger than the ghetto, you will go up a little bit further. Now, this thing relates to what y'all been talking about in this camp. Y'all repeat after me. Say, service. Service is the rent. You pay. For being on this earth. Somebody tell me what they think that means. Service is the rent you pay. Now listen to that. Service is the rent you pay for being here on earth. That's the way you pay it. What does that mean?
You will always have something to contribute to the world, even though it's maybe small.
Come on, give me a round of applause. What it means is, by serving others, that's how you earn your keep here. God don't care nothing about how much money you got. Don't care about your clothes, don't care about your cars, don't care about none of that. It's your service. What you gonna do to give back? What you gonna do to give back? How you gonna help somebody? Everybody in Milwaukee can't tear it up. Somebody gotta stand up and build it up. Somebody gotta be a blessing. Everybody can't be a curse. Everybody can't be a shooter. Everybody can't be a killer. Somebody has to be a builder. Somebody has to be a teacher. Somebody has to be a healer. That's you. That's you. Clap your hands and make some noise. Gotta take you all the way to the top. And last but not least, as I get out of here, I need all y'all to stand up. Come on. All y'all stand up. My nephew. What's going on? All right, so look. gotta stay around. Look at me. We need you to stay around. Smart kids make bad decisions every day. You know why? They're trying to be something that they ain't. I heard a mantra. Somebody kept saying up here, be you, be you, be you. That's one of the hardest things you can ever do when you're young is be you. Because sometimes being ourselves, we might be a little quirky. I mean, that ain't funny, it's just the truth. We might not be, me and you might mean you ain't the coolest kid. Being you might not mean you the most popular dude or young lady. Being you, they might call you a square, they might call you a lame, but you gotta be willing to be you anyway. Because that's how you will live. We need you to survive. We need you to stay alive and not die young. So on the count of 3, I need y'all to repeat after me. This is a pledge that I make everywhere I go. Y'all repeat after me. Y'all say, I. I. Louder than y'all. Say, I. Will. Look here. Y'all may be seated. Look here. If nobody ever told you that they love you, this is the most important part. If nobody ever tells you that they love you, I love you. Thank you for loving me back. Amen. But if nobody ever tells you that they love you, love yourself. Come on, this is the most important part. Love yourself enough to want more for yourself. 20 years from now, I need y'all, one of y'all, I need multiples of y'all to come back to a program like this. And I need y'all to stand where I'm standing. And if I made you feel something in your heart today, I need you to take it upon yourself to make somebody else feel that the same way. That's how we keep placing more good into this world than bad. That's how positive wins and negative falls by the wayside. That's your job, that's your responsibility. I can't do this forever. Pastor Steve can't do this forever. The great men and the great women in here who are your counselors and who are your teachers, we can't do it forever, but we sowing a seed in you in hopes that wherever you go, you might not want to live in Milwaukee, you might want to live in New York, California, you might want to live in China, you might want to live, the sky's the limit, but come back. So people can touch you and say, okay, they did it, I can too. Love y'all.
My dreams was to save lives.
Kesangkan dan Shaka ketemu dengan Gojek.
मुझे एक FBI पढ़नी है।
Takulu saya yaitu dokter batu ni taponi ku saya yaitu jantung ni.
Aku nak jadi seorang dokter untuk tolong orang.
Mis sueños para el futuro es poder graduarme de la universidad y tener una familia.
I want to be an athletic trainer.
I don't want to die because of guns.
لا أريد الموت بسبب الأسلحة النارية.
Kuci sama Pak.
मुझे गन की वजह से मरना नहीं है।
Kuci satu bisa kesi Pak.
أنا بصطاد بقدم فلاي.
Kuci satu tu ni tu ku si Pak tu ni tu ku.
Saya tidak mau mati dengan pistol.
أنا كل حال متمسك. I don't want to die because of guns.
I want to feel safe in my community.
أريد أن أشعر بالأمان في مجتمعي. मुझे मेरी कम्युनिटी में सिर्फ फील करनी है।
मुझे केक जल फ्लोई।
Saya nyojong dia oshi tabunya juga tu ni dia juga punya.
Saya mau berasa selamat dengan komuniti saya.
Quiero sentirme seguro en mi comunidad.
I want to feel safe in my community.
Aku lupa lu jangan. Kuci saya bahasa ke pasien ke siapa. Kusanya aku jangan ke siapa. Kusah aku jangan tahu aku oshi tahu cuma tu ni. Tu aku yang tak punya juga punya. Dia tu ni. Stop the violence.
Menghentikan keganasan.
Jika tu ni jika siapa dia wajib pejabat tu ni.
Kan hasil band कर दो।
Juta ke siapa tu? Juta ke siapa?
كل سنة لما عملت بستقر finance को stop करेगा
Alto Furán, que pare la violencia.
Yup. Hey, for all of those too, the hurt, people hurt, as well as to stop the violence was student produced, student directed, edited, written. So let's give a hand for our fellow classmates. Now's the time that we want to just have a conversation, right? We could never have done this whole 7 weeks without a lot of partners and people that played pivotal roles. We had, we had the Office of Violence Prevention, Ashanti Hamilton, the director of the Violence Prevention. We could never have had this without, first of all, I came to something that they were having on the northwest side, and they was talking about violence. And they was talking about how now gun violence being the #1 cause of death in the growing demographics, I think young people. And I was like, what? And then they was talking about some other statistics, and I was like, wow. And I saw him speaking, leading, and he was an upper bound student, y'all, just like y'all in these seats. Before, and then he was a teacher at Riverside, and then he was an alderman in the 1st District in Milwaukee, and then he was the common council president for a number of years. And then he left that to do what he's doing now, which is to help stop some of the violence and craziness and take that challenge, a huge challenge, right? The Office of Violence Prevention. So I saw him there, and I was moved once, I knew I lived in Milwaukee, and I lived, where things was happening, but they had this event, and I was happy to be there, and because I was there, I was like, hey, we gotta do something. He's like, call me. So I called him. That's how this happened. That's how we started the conversations around what can we do to affect the change of the people that we deal with. So, so a whole I ain't gonna kill your last name. I ain't gonna even try to kill your last name. Can you come down to also? We want to have a panel with some of the youth actually talking to some of our community partners. Anybody else that's you in the community, I see Dr. Steve out there, and I know I saw Heidi, Dean Heidi before, but if anybody, a partner, a politician, a community person, a resource, we had great people that were partners with us. We had the Office of Violence Prevention, we had Northwest Funeral Chapel, we had the Marquette Center for Peacemaking. We had a number of people that partnered with us. I can come on down. And have a seat. I think it's that Miss Laya Thomas is coming to the panel. She's executive director of EOP. We just want to have a conversation. I think it was a couple people that was going to help me with this conversation. Come on down if you're helping me. Brother, your brother Josh, your brother Jelani, sister, come on down. We want to just have a conversation. Well, where do we go from here? What have you learned and where do we go from here? Hey, Dr. Marcus Ayrton is here.
He just stepped away.
If Dr. Ayrton, okay, he's not out, okay. Just having a conversation about where do we go from here, right? And I don't know who want to start it, Queen. I don't know who want to start it at all, but we just want to have a dialogue on what you learned, where do we go from here, ask questions.
Okay, then I'll jump right in. First of all, I just want to say how proud I am of all of you, so please give yourselves a round. So I'll start with this. I'll start with the belief that it's being carried in our community that things cannot change for you. That things are so bad in our community that they can't turn around. And I think it's important for us, especially in this room, that we challenge that narrative head on and say that it's a flat out lie. That things must change in our community, and that the voices of young people are going to be the voices that lead that charge with the tools that's necessary in order to combat it. And so, too often being in this position and traveling around in different circles, you don't have people like Steve Robertson, who has been doing this work for so long that he was my tutor counselor when I was in Upward Bound. So that there is a message that's happening out there that's changing the way people talk about young people and what we can do, what y'all can do, and what can be accomplished together in our community.
What's good, young people? Got my man, Ashanti, sitting next to me. Give it up for Steve one more time. One of the things I want to say about young people is that if you study history and study any of the movements that we've ever had in this country that pushed it forward, there was always young people that was at the helm. If you're talking about the civil rights movement, the Black Power movements, etc., it was always young people. And I hear this mantra of be yourself, be you. One, I want you to understand that you being you is good enough. And it's more than good enough. And it's actually what we need. Two, in order to really be yourself, you gotta get knowledge of self. And you have to continuously learn about yourself, the nuances that make you you, and learn about your history and the people that you come from. If you're a Hmong person, know about Hmong history. If you are an American African, know about American African history and African history. If you are a Caucasian person, a white person, know about that history as well. And if there's some dark places in your history, learn how you overturn that and make something new. And also, to the adults in the room, you're gonna be mad at me. I enjoy the rebellious spirit of young people because Oftentimes, the status quo needs to be pushed back against. And it's young people who have their own minds and their own thoughts and ways of doing things that are going to push back. It's not just about some older person taking some old, archaic thought that don't work no more and putting a young face on it and say, yeah, this is the voice of the young people. It's about y'all being rebellious and pushing back on the things that don't work anymore. So continue to do that. And thank y'all for being here.
Well, first I just want to start by saying that I'm beyond proud of every last one of you for your commitment to this program, for your commitment to waking up early in the morning, being here, putting in the work and making a change, not only in your neighborhoods, but your schools, the leaders, within your own self and your cohort. And so I'm beyond proud of just to see the work that has been put in from the beginning of the summer program into now. And two, I think just to piggyback off of what was already said too, I think young people, you have more power than you probably know you have. You can be the change agents in your neighborhoods, in your communities, and to make this world a safer place. I think all of us on this panel, I can speak for the older folks here on this side of the room, they may be a little older than me though. That, you know, we've all been in your shoes, first generation, low income, growing up in neighborhoods where folks don't go on to college and folks don't go on to be great leaders and lead, but again, believing in yourself, having those mentors, having someone see something in yourself that you don't even see in you, to push you to do great things. And so there, you know, like you all say, it's up from here. And it really is. You have so much to look forward to, listening to the panels, listening to the statistics, the work that you're putting into. You're doing the works in your community. You know what the statistics are. You know who's using the drugs. You know the effects and the side effects of drugs. You know that, you know, participate in behaviors that aren't positive and where they will lead because you did that work. And so I'm just so proud of you. But I'm going to turn it over to the young folks here, the folks that you all led this project. So I'm going to turn it over to you all.
I was going to say that we're all here, you know, for a reason. Like all of our tutors, all of our counselors, all of our TCs are here to encourage us and motivate us, and because they see the potential that is in us. So I think it's genuinely up to us to be doing that hard work, and I think we're doing a great job in showing it in all of our classes, the videography, the photography, the peace ambassadors. I think we're all just doing a great job, so it's like, keep it up.
I also want to say that you guys are all here for a reason, and that they picked you to be in this program because they see potential in you and they want you to have a good education and go to college and get a college degree, like we always say at the end of the creed. And yeah, that's it.
Hi, my name is, this doesn't work, but my name is Jelani Brown. I'm a senior, and I have a question for the adults. And so basically, what communities do you impact, and like how do you help lead them, so we can learn a little bit more about you?
Well, I'm currently the director of the Office of Violence Prevention, so we kind of cover the entire city. But we do have some focus areas within the city of Milwaukee, which is, you know, Old North Milwaukee is a neighborhood, Harambe is a neighborhood that we do a lot of work in, Garden Homes is a neighborhood that we do a lot of work in, Washington Park, the Armani neighborhood, and the North Division neighborhood are where we put a lot of focus in the city. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Supreme Moore Omakunde, and I'm a state representative, which means I represent a district in Milwaukee and Madison. And which I guess that makes me a politician. And
Before that, I was on the Milwaukee County Board, where I represented the Deer West Side and parts of downtown. And I lived in Lindsay Heights. It's a neighborhood that's just at the top of the hill from the Fiserv Forum. And we did a lot of work to push back against displacement because they have this big word called gentrification that comes where you live in your neighborhood and you've been living there for generations, and then somebody else sees how valuable it can be, and so they want to push you out and have you live somewhere else so they can make money off that neighborhood, etc. We did some efforts to kind of push back against that a little bit and start having some conversations about development without displacement. Yeah, we want you to develop in our neighborhood, but we don't want to be displaced as a result of their development. Also, before that, I was a community organizer for the Sherman Park Community Association, where in Sherman Park we established a neighborhood improvement district, which means we take some of our tax dollars and put it back into the owner occupants so they can fix up their homes and so they don't get pushed out by increased property taxes even after they pay the houses off already. However, I try to impact every community I come into, and I put the R in community, and I'll explain what that means a little bit later.
Well, I think you all know me, so I'm Laya, and I'm the executive director of the Education Opportunities Program. So I oversee all of the program, all of the TRIO programs, and not TRIO, but the programs that fall under the TRIO umbrella or the EOP umbrella here at the university. And prior to taking this position too, I was also the state executive director for the Wisconsin Educational Opportunities Programs. And so what I did was these pre-college programs that you're in now, I oversaw these programs for the entire state of Wisconsin. So Milwaukee, all the way up to the tip of the state of Ashland and Bayfield. And so I hope that I have been impactful to students' lives because this is my life's work. And I've heard from all of the presenters earlier is that, you follow your passion, and my passion is helping young people because I have been in your shoes, first generation, low income, first person in my immediate family to go on to college. I grew up 27th Center, 37th and 1, 11th and Locust, and so I understand what it takes and understand believing in yourself and setting your eyes on something, a prize, but not having that instant gratification, but believing that it will come. And so it is my goal to be impactful to you all in that aspect as well.
I had a couple of questions for the adults, and I was trying to ask y'all, like, what makes y'all come here today to see like all the Upper Brown students?
Well, to be quite honest, I am Upper Bound. And have felt like, Steve kind of went through my history with Marquette. I was an Upper Bound student. And I also graduated from Marquette, so I was an EOP student. While I was an EOP student, for 4 years, I was a tutor counselor. So I just, this is home for me. This has been such an important part of my developmental career as a person. Like I've kind of became a man on this campus. I was actually here before this building was here. The Union was across the street. I used to live in the old beer can in the sky, the corn cob. And so this has been such an important part of my development. I feel like Marquette in general is an important part of the city of Milwaukee, that you all have been recognized as leaders in your different schools across the city. That if you really want to have a microcosm of the city of Milwaukee and the leadership that exists in the city, there's no other place that's like this campus with this program with you all. So you've demonstrated that to me today with your commitment of going through all of this, and then have it be student-led at this point with all of the presentations that you made today. You get it. And I think you get the assignment. The assignment is not just for this to be an investment in you as an individual, which it is, but it's also an investment in you as a leader in the community, and we know that you will take this back. We know that you will exercise this information, and we know that you will be impactful because you already have been doing it. And so this is always a stop for me because this is always home, and I always know that I'm going to find leaders who have committed to improving themselves and improving their community right here. So that's why this is the stop.
Well, much similar for me. EOP is almost in my blood. My mother was actually in the first class of the Educational Opportunity Program here at Marquette University as a college student. That's why I couldn't be at EOP, because I wasn't first generation. And my sister was in Upper Bound. All three of her daughters were in Upper Bound. And so it's kind of like a familiar kind of thing. And I know that this stop is a key to people being successful in college. This kind of program, this free college program, is a key to young people being successful in college. And I just wanted to hear what y'all had to say, honestly. I was sitting in the back, I was just enjoying all of the presentations, and I wanted to hear what y'all had to say because I knew it was going to be something that I needed to hear.
Well, I was like, do they want me to answer because I'm always here every day. But I'm here. I show up every day because I know TRIO works. I know this program works, and I know TRIO works.
What advice do you have for us?
Know that you are not in this alone. You know, there's been a lot of conversation about what's expected of you and, you know, these making it to the top and being dedicated and doing what you need to do. But know that you need to take care of yourself too, mentally and physically, and that you have support around you to help you achieve those things. It's not an expectation that you do all of these wonderful things by yourself. The idea is to do this together. The idea is to find people who are like-minded to push this together. Never feel so much pressure that you don't take advantage of the support group that's around you and continue to build that. Recognize that everyone's invested in your success, and build people around you and make use of the infrastructure that's there to try to help you be successful. Don't try to do it all by yourself, even though some of you are just so brilliant that you can. There is a support group that's here for you. This has been one of mine right here, and I've tried to be that for him as we've been moving through the political space together. You always find people that are willing to go through this struggle with you and do it together. Then it's a beautiful struggle.
So there was this program back in the early 90s called Hang Tough. It was to help keep kids, young people off drugs, and Ashanti was in it. He was like one of the star people, and he went to the Almighty Riverside High School, and I went there too.
Riverside?
And the three things that the advice that I would give: one is get knowledge of self. Everything that you do, help it to help you learn more about yourself. The books you read, the programs you watch, the YouTube videos you look at, everything should help you get knowledge of self and know who you are, one. Two, is remember that the lessons that you learn in life are going to be in the moments. And sometimes you can point to a moment where something turned around for you, or you can point to a moment where all of this turned over and became real. The lessons are going to be in those moments. And when you're with people, imagine who it is that you can learn from in those moments. And sometimes it won't even be one of your instructors. Y'all got good people out here. I know I see my man Greg in the back. And I know Steve is here, some other folks. But those moments are going to teach you. Lastly, journal. If you got that dope idea that you think you're going to hold on to forever, write it down in a book somewhere. Journal. And not just for the young ladies, young brothers. Journal. It will save your life more than you know. have you a journal, a book, a notebook next to your bed where you can write thoughts down. Whenever it comes to you, journal it. I'm telling you, and then read it later and see how much you've changed and grown.
All right, I'm a Rufus King, so I'm like Rufus. Anyway, what do you hope the students get from this town hall today? Students get from this town hall today?
Well, one, I'm hoping that you see that the experience that you went through creates a number of different opportunities for you to be in this work. So whether it was the hospital visit that you all went to and you saw all the trauma, like I heard a surgeon was out there, I heard some people wanted to do the medical field, that there are opportunities in this space for you professionally. You heard about the violence interrupters when you were out there, the 414 Life violence interrupters that play a role in this, that get referrals, go out into the community. You visited a lot of different components of what this work looks like. A lot of that stuff I oversee for the city of Milwaukee. We wanted to expose you to all of the different things that a lot of times when people look at government or city government, they only look at elected officials. But the people who really make a lot of the stuff run, a lot of the professionals are in different departments doing different things. So we wanted you to see the breadth of opportunity that exists out there for you personally. Second thing was amplifying your voice. We wanted to raise up and bring attention to so many young people that are doing the right things and dedicating themselves. So some of this, as you were going through it, it was really for the community to see the fact that we have so many people in the city that are young, that are going to all of these schools, that are dedicated and doing the right thing. And we want to give you a platform to continue doing this work. And wanted to arm you with the tools. So at some point, we should be handing out some certificates for your commitment to this and taking the classes and going through this process. So that, like, this is literally a certification. This is what people learn to do in order to de-escalate things. So at some point, I don't know when we're doing that, but we're supposed to provide you with those. And so we want you to feel comfortable and know what to do when you go back to your communities to have an impact on violence. What to do and how to use the language of de-escalation. How to be a peer mediator in your school to help things calm down. Because somebody has to be that voice, and you have the most influence than anybody in this room with your peer group.
I'm jealous, man. I didn't get to go to all that stuff. I didn't get to see and have experience with all of these things. I want to say just today, what I want you young people to learn is to look at your peers and the presentations that they made, and look at the work that they put into doing those presentations for you, and respect their craft that they put into present for you, and respect your own work that you've done. If you were in one of the montages that you got up here on the stage to present, recognize that you put that work in, and this was the product that you put out. And always recognize that, the proof is going to be in the pudding, as they say, and it's going to be in the work that you put out. And I enjoyed everything that was up here today. And I also want to say for the record that Rufus King is a fine institution. And if you go to school there, you should be proud. It is a fine institution. It's just that I have to big up Riverside.
And my daughter just graduated from Rufus King this past Alia Muhammad. So she just graduated from Rufus King. So we give Rufus King their props too.
So let's give a hand to our panel. Every time, we want to leave some time so you can talk to them, right, one-on-one. We have some water back there, and we have some Gardanos back there. and you can eat till it's up. But also, we just wanted to tell you this, that when you think about Representative Supreme Moore, but they said, hey, man, it's easy if you didn't go to speech pathologist about 12 years. I ain't about to try to that. But when you talk about his mother, he referred to his mother, right? His mother is Congresswoman Wynn Moore. You know, she was our trio speaker, and she came to Trio Day. And when she came to Trio Day, she also, anytime she comes, it's an honor, because we can see ourselves in her. And when she's in Washington fighting for us, just like he's in Madison fighting for us, just like Ashanti, Director Hamilton was in the council fighting for us, and now he's fighting with the Office of Violence Prevention, trying to get folks to stop fighting. They make us proud. They make us proud. So on behalf of Marquette University, College Bound Scholars, Upper Bound Math Science Talent Search, Project Rise, and SOAR. And you might not hear SOAR, but SOAR, you know, is something that came from Congresswoman Gwen Moore wanted to make sure that we was in the cutting edge with cybersecurity, IT, AI. And we have a grant just because she saw the need and she wanted to make sure people in the 4th district, Congressional 4th district, was taken care of. So let's give a hand again to our guests who's really been coming. So we're going to dismiss at this time. It's not the end, it's just a pause. It's the end for the day. If you go on to any of the art classes, adult art class, just go home. What you say? Now, if you go anywhere, like on campus, especially the place we talked about last week, make sure you using doing what I remember. Remember what I said, right? All right. So, okay, last stanza. Up around. Who got the last stanza? What's the last stanza?